Let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE that has eked out some more gains today. Of course, locally, we did have good news coming from the South African Reserve Bank as it reduced interest rates by another 25 basis points in this cutting cycle. So we are seeing the all share on the day up more than 0.25%. Those gains largely being carried by the financial 15 advancing more than 1%, industrial 25 they're eking out a gain of 0.4%. But backing that trend is the resources 10 complex as it makes a turnaround there into red territory, declining by almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the US markets, and on that front, of course, investors still digesting Nvidia's results, which once again exceeded market expectations. But there seem to be some concerns there in those numbers that had investors putting a little bit of pressure on the stock, as we saw a dip there today. So we are seeing the tech-heavy Nasdaq carrying most of those losses, declining by 0.9%. We are seeing the S&P 500 is slumping almost 0.25%, but the Dow greening by almost 0.25%. Let's take a look at what is happening with markets across the Atlantic, and on that front, we are seeing a mixed picture, but largely green, with the FTSE 100 carrying most of those gains, advancing more than 0.5%. The DAX, they're popping by 0.33%, but the CAC 40 edging lower by more than 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening on the currency scene, and we start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. We are seeing some strength coming through to the rand, now at exactly 18 rand against the US dollar, against the pound at 22 rand 76, and against the euro at 18 rand 97. Let's check in on how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.05, pound dollar at 1.26, and the yen strengthening a little bit against the US dollar at 154 against that currency.